What the hell? The price went up!
I just paid $18 for a fast food burger combo. Not at some fancy gourmet place, at the drive-thru where we used to grab $5 meals just a few years ago. The receipt in my hand feels like evidence of a crime. The same meal cost $12 in 2019 and around $8 in 2015. Watching the menu prices climb while sitting in my idling car, fluorescent signs flickering overhead, I wonder, what happened to fast food being the affordable option? How did we reach this breaking point? Today I'm taking you inside the economic tornado that transformed your cheap burger into a luxury purchase, and why 2025 might be the year we can't afford convenience anymore. Jason stares at the drive-thru menu stunned. The classic burger combo, his go-to during late-night study sessions, now costs $18. $18 for a burger, fries, and a drink, he mutters, checking with the cashier to make sure it's not a mistake. Yep, that's right, the teenager replies, sounding like they've heard this complaint a dozen times today. Jason's not alone. Across the country, folks are hitting what's called menu shock, that moment when fast food prices make you double take. What used to be cheap, quick meals now feels like a luxury. Back at his apartment, Jason digs through a shoebox of old receipts, a habit he picked up from his accounting professor. He spreads them out like a detective building a case. $12.49 for the same combo in 2019, $14.25 in 2022, $16.30 last year, and now $18. The numbers reveal prices climbing way faster than his paycheck. Look at the McDonald's cheeseburger. It was $1 in 2019, $2.49 in 2022, and $3.15 in 2024. That's a 215% jump that leaves regular inflation in the dust. Popeye's 4-piece chicken dinner, up from $7 in 2014 to $13.79 in 2024. Taco Bell's menu from Gordita Crunch to beefy 5-layer burrito has roughly doubled in price over the same time. These aren't small hikes, they're through the roof. Fast food chains claim they're just passing on higher costs, things like labor, ingredients, and fuel. And yeah, those have gone up. Food production costs, for instance, rose about 3.8% in 2024. But let's break it down. General food prices went up 25% from 2019 to 2023, while fast food prices soared even higher. Grocery stores, meanwhile, are raising prices at half the rate. So why are drive-thrus hitting our wallets so hard? It's not just costs. Something bigger's at play. Outside another chain, Marissa, a mom of 3, stares at the menu board, her face falling as she adds up the total. We used to come here every Friday for a family treat, she says. Now it's over $70 for the 5 of us. That's sit-down restaurant money, but with no waiter or atmosphere. At home, she started meal prepping to save money, batch cooking dinners that cost half as much. Michael, a construction worker grabbing lunch, has a sharper reaction. They think we're made of money. My paycheck hasn't jumped like this. He's been using fast food apps to snag coupons, shaving a few bucks off when he does eat out. The chains have pulled us off with a sneaky tactic. Small price hikes over time that you barely notice until you're shelling out way more. They've been testing how much we'll pay bit by bit. The data is clear. While overall food prices rose about 25% from 2019 to 2023, fast food items have raced past that. Grocery store prices, meanwhile, are creeping up at roughly half the rate of restaurant food. Drive-thrus used to be a no-brainer for tight budgets, but that math doesn't add up anymore. Jason takes his $18 burger apart, spreading out the bun, patty, cheese, and toppings like clues in a mystery. What am I really paying for, he asks. The answer might make you rethink your next order. The ingredients cost the restaurant about $3.50. You're paying 5 times that. It's like buying a $20 concert ticket and finding out the band got just $4. Fast food chains have mastered charging way more than their food costs. Back in 2014, they'd add about 60 to 70% to cover costs. By 2023, places like Wendys were tacking on 91% extra, with McDonald's close behind at 85%. That gap keeps widening, and it's not because burgers are suddenly harder to make. Chains say they need these prices to cover rising wages and supply chain headaches. And sure, those are real, Paying workers more and handling shipping delays costs money. Studies show labor costs for fast food chains went up about 10% from 2020 to 2023. But here's the real issue. The biggest chains are raking in massive profits. Dr. Alina Torres, an economist, puts it bluntly, fast food profits are outpacing inflation, and consumers are footing the bill. Instead of reinvesting, chains spent $6.1 billion buying back their own stock to keep shareholders happy. Meanwhile, the average fast food worker still earns less than $15 an hour. Jason sighs. If they can pay executives millions and keep investors smiling, why are we stuck with the bill? The data shows about 53% of the price hikes you're paying are companies cashing in, not covering actual cost increases. Your $18 combo, roughly half of that extra cost is pure profit. Zoom in on those executive paychecks, and the gap with frontline workers is glaring. Jason points out, studies say even if chains raised wages big time, it'd cost them $4.6 billion a year tops. There's plenty of room to pay workers more without these crazy price hikes. Shareholder dividends are rising right alongside menu prices, growing nearly 3 times faster than any upgrades to your meal. The math is clear, Jason says. These companies have a cushion to handle higher costs, but we're the ones paying extra. Executives boast about their pricing power, while their ads promise great deals to customers. The contrast is jarring. Jason adds, chains bought by private equity firms are even worse. Some local favorites saw average orders jump 40% in just 3 years after investment groups took over. Some chains are even cutting costs by tweaking recipes. Internal documents show they've cut protein in some items by up to 15%, swapping premium ingredients for cheaper ones, all while charging you more. The numbers break it down. About 53% of the extra you're paying is companies taking advantage. For every dollar more you spend, only about 47 cents cover real cost increases. The rest is just profit. Yes, food production costs are set to rise 3.8% in 2024, slower than last year. But that doesn't justify these price hikes. The fast food promise of being affordable, that's history. The fast food industry isn't just raising prices. They're playing tricks on us. Jason compares his 2025 burger to a 2019 version, frowning. Is this smaller or what? He measures it, and the numbers don't lie. The new burger's 18% smaller. We're paying more for less food, he says, raising an eyebrow. This move, called shrinkflation, is everywhere. Fast food chains quietly shrink portions, like Arby's hit with a 2025 lawsuit for downsizing its menu to kid-sized smalls, or McDonald's nuggets and Burger King's Whopper, which customers online call half the size they used to be. Your meals shrinking faster than your cash. Companies claim they're trimming portions to keep prices from skyrocketing, pointing to higher ingredient costs. And true, beef and chicken prices jumped about 5% in 2024, but that's only half the picture. While portions shrink, chains are also swapping premium ingredients for cheaper ones. Less beef, more fillers, watered-down condiments, all while charging you more. A lab test showed some burgers now have 15% less protein than a decade ago. Jason explains how fry containers are packed to feel full but hold fewer fries. It's a magic trick, he says. They're betting we won't catch on. Sarah, a former shift manager at 3 chains, backs this up. We were taught to arrange burgers in the wrapper to make them look bigger. It's all about fooling the customer. The proof stacks up. Arby's 2025 lawsuit confirms they shrank their menu to kid-sized smalls at high prices. McDonald's nuggets are smaller too, called half the size online. The Whopper's in the same boat. A viral video shows it barely fitting its wrapper, yet pricier. Companies are pros at hiding this, Jason says. Your meal looks familiar, but there's less of it every year. It's not just size, presentation plays a part too. Jason explains how containers are designed to seem full while holding less. Five Guys, once famous for overflowing fry bags, now gets flack for small orders that barely fill half the bag. Quality's slipping too. Lab tests show chains using cheaper beef with more fat, cheese with extra fillers, and condiments with budget ingredients. The food looks similar but doesn't taste or fill you up the same. Add shrinkflation to price hikes, and you're paying 15 to 20% more than the menu suggests. For a family of 4 eating out weekly, that's hundreds of extra bucks a year for less food. Since 2019, the real cost of fast food has jumped closer to 50%, turning a quick bite into a big expense. PepsiCo's recent move to add 20% more chips to bonus bags of Lay's, Doritos, and Ruffles is a quiet admission they shrank their products in the first place. Fast food has changed completely. With inflation, corporate greed, and shrinkflation, what used to be a cheap, easy option has turned into a luxury for many. Fast casual restaurants have hiked prices by 42% from 2020 to 2025. And drive-thrus aren't far behind. But we don't have to keep paying these prices. Cooking at home is a huge money saver. Buying in bulk or meal prepping can cut your food costs in half. Local diners and smaller restaurants often keep prices steadier than big chains, offering better value and a real dining experience. Fast food apps can help too. Loyalty programs and coupons sometimes shave a few bucks off. Joining a community-supported agriculture or CSA program is another great move, giving you fresh, affordable ingredients straight from local farms. The key is taking charge of your food budget. Lisa, a budget expert, sums it up. You can eat well without breaking the bank. Plan your meals, shop smart, and skip the overpriced drive-thru. Marissa's now cooking budget-friendly pasta dinners with her kids. Michael's packing hearty lunches for work. And Jason's making his own $3 burger, grinning as he serves it to friends. Tastes better than the drive-thru and didn't break the bank, he says. It's a reminder that good food and good company don't need to cost a fortune. You don't have to accept $18 burgers. What's your game plan for beating these price hikes? Share your budget meals, photos, videos, or tips on X or TikTok with hashtag FastFoodFix. Let's outsmart these prices together.